Alright, welcome back everyone to another episode of my F1 2020 career mode for the round in Spain today. So let's just get into it and get into qualifying and see where we're going to start for the Spanish Grand Prix.
I recommend we could go for something like this.
So before we get into qualifying, we'll just quickly have a look at R&D after practice and what upgrades we may be able to purchase. Had a good look at the engine side, but in the end I decided to go with a tyre wear upgrade on the chassis side. But anyway, now here we go for qualifying proper in this weekend. So let's hope that we can set a good lap time. You can see we're on our third lap in this session, using all of our soft tyres to try to get ourselves further up the grid, because right now we are not doing enough. We are in P21, only ahead of Nicholas Latifi, so we really need to get this lap together. Really nice actually through the first sector, and you'll see the way this lap progresses, a little bit wide of the apex there, but still carrying the momentum quite well as we head through and continue on the lap to the last few corners now. Very close to touching gravel there through the penultimate and the final corner as well. So really pushing the limits as we head to the line. Where will we qualify? 21st. No improvement on our existing position, so a very disappointing result.
Welcome along then to what promises to be another fascinating Spanish Grand Prix. A race which saw Max Verstappen win on his first ever appearance with the Red Bull team in 2016. This after the dramatic coming together of Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg on the first lap. Will we see more moments for the scrapbook here today? It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down to turn 1 of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. Joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. Let's have a chat about McLaren. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Max Verstappen and Albon, Sainz, Ricciardo, Norris and Esteban Ocon, Perez, Kvyat, Pierre Gasly and Raikkonen, Grosjean, Giovinazzi, Kevin Magnussen and George Russell, Joe, the scientist, Stroll and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
You're going to have to push early if you want to have any chance of beating your results from the last race. Good luck.
Alright, thanks Jeff. We'll try our best. Medium tyres to the hards. The soft tyres are out of the question in this race. Look at how quickly they drop off in that bottom strategy. Let's just avoid those at all costs. But anyway, now let's go to the 5 red lights. All 5 lights are on. And they're out, and we are underway for the Spanish Grand Prix. Wheel spin, but a superb start by George Russell as we get a decent one as well and crawl alongside Joe. But Joe in the second phase deploying overtake mode to inch back ahead of us. We're going to slow down, switch to the outside, and we overtake a whole bunch of cars into the braking zone as they are all taking the inside line side by side now with Antonio Giovinazzi around the outside of turn 3, and we're going to get that position and move ourselves up into 16th. 5 places gained in the first 3 corners. Here comes Giovinazzi though, back down the inside. We're deep on the brakes though, trying to send it around the outside of the next group of cars. Not going to work out for us as we make a bit of contact with Giovinazzi and the car we were trying to overtake being Kimi Raikkonen. But yeah, we couldn't quite make it around the outside of the Alfa Romeo. But yeah, a decent start for us up into 16th.
We're looking good so far.
So that is the best that we could have asked for, I think. So now let's see if we can continue to push forwards in this race. Everyone around us is also on the medium tyres, so we could be in for a decent race and a very interesting one, seeing as we're all on different strategies to the top 10. So it will be interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, we really need to try and just stick as close as we can to Kimi Räikkönen through this final sector, and we may be trying to make a move along the main straight, but very awkward there through the chicane. That cost us some time and potentially cost us the chance to make a move on Räikkönen as we head onto the straight on this occasion. So yeah, disappointing for us there as we get a lot of airtime over the curb there a few laps later, and that sends us really wide for the next few corners. And now Giovinazzi has a great run on us. You'll notice Kimi Räikkönen has gotten away from us as well, so we're lacking some pace in this one. But here comes Giovinazzi, gaining a lot of speed in that Alfa Romeo down the inside, and he's got the position. We're trying to go around back around the outside, but there's no grip out there for us, and he just takes that position. So Giovinazzi up into 16th, ourselves down 2 17ths. Stroll a decent start as well, gaining a few positions. He was penalised to the back row, which also elevated us to go very deep into the final sector, and George Russell gets past us. Next behind us is Lance Stroll, and he's having a look down the inside into the first corner. Stroll already through, and there's not a lot we can really do about him. These cars are just faster than us. We just don't have any turning ability. You can see physically how much the car is understeering compared to the cars around us. Fair enough that the Racing Point is a better car, but the Haas's, the Alfa Romeos, we should be competitive with them, but we just cannot fight them as we send it around the outside of Kevin Magnussen, our rival. We're not going to let him go without a fight. But I can tell you, after looking later in the race, that it was the tyre temperatures that were causing us all these issues. The car was undrivable, and there you go, Magnussen gets through. We got the DRS though, crucially, and that will help us as we head towards the first corner. Here's the onboard with Latifi behind us as we go around the outside of Kevin Magnussen. Latifi getting involved as well, trying to make the move, but Magnussen holding on as he sends it and tries to get alongside us again, and he's actually fully ahead, but we're going to try and maintain the power and the speed and the momentum around the outside, and we do manage to hold off Kevin Magnussen for another lap. But he's getting very, very quick as he's still actually side by side with us there, sticking the nose in. But he's not going to be able to hold it around the outside. We're going to squeeze him out, and Latifi will be trying to have a go at him once again. So yes, we go very deep there as well. So the car is just not at all responding to the way I want to drive it. And it's not at all like it was in qualifying. In qualifying, it actually felt really nice, even though the lap time wasn't there. But in the race, it's even slower as Kevin Magnussen goes through on the inside there as we run wide. But we're going to get the slipstream DRS back down the inside, and that is a super late on the brakes move. But we do manage to get back ahead of Magnussen, and yeah, that was very unexpected. I thought he was through, but yeah, look at how late on the brakes we were there, and able to cover him off through the next two corners, and just about sweep around the outside of turn 3 to stay ahead. Here's the onboard with Magnussen, and out of nowhere we just fire down the inside, and he tried to go back around the outside of turn 2. There's not a lot of grip out there though, and couldn't fight it on the inside of turn 3. We sweep through and take the apex there. But yeah, we are really fighting as hard as we can to keep Magnussen behind us. So yeah, we have a lot of work to do.
Blue flag.
Blue flags already in this race. Are you serious? That is insane.
Blue flag conditions. Create a gap and let the car behind through.
Yes. What am I doing here? This is. We can't be having this. I don't know what's going on in this race. We are just being so slow.
Gap to the car in front is 16.0 seconds.
There goes Bottas. He doesn't even need the blue flags. He just flies straight past along the pit straight. Here comes the Williams of Latifi back down the inside into the first corner. He was trying to get involved.
Racing the car behind. Let them past when you can.
Just a moment ago, but we get a little bit bumped wide by Latifi. He slows down to let the Ferrari through. We're trying to go back around the outside of the Williams, but no grip, and Latifi maintains the position ahead of us. So yeah, no luck for us there. But we move on, and the Racing Point of Lance Stroll on lap 21 retires from the race with a mechanical failure. So yeah, sad end to his race. He was going quite well, overtaking a few cars after starting on the back row. Next up behind us is our teammate Guan Yu Zhou. So we're not going to fight him at all, really. We're just going to let off, and he can continue his own race. It's just better for both of us that way. We're not going to be holding each other up. So yeah, he can continue on. Hopefully he can challenge for some positions further up the field. But we'll see, as we now have Kevin Magnussen behind us once again in this race. So we really are going to need to draw something out of the hat here, because the way we're going to finish in dead last. So we somehow managed to hold him off until this time for the pit stops. So in we come. We're going to get an undercut on Kevin Magnussen, and I am very, very glad to see the end of these medium tyres. They have been absolutely horrendous. Strange to say that about the medium tyres. Normally it's only the soft tyres that overheat so badly, but yeah, these mediums have been awful.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
So hard tyres on. Hopefully they can stay in the temperature window a lot better.
Blue flag, blue flag.
Oh, come on. And yeah,
Magnussen is stopping now.
as Magnussen makes his pit stop, we'll find out if we have managed to hold any pace on these hard tyres. We've had to deal with a lot of blue flags, which has slowed us down as well, but the same could be said for Magnussen, having to deal with a few too. And there's Magnussen, and we have overtaken him in the pit lane. So yeah, we maintain our second last position at this point in the race. So that is all good news for us as we continue through this
Guan Yu is in the pits. Guan Yu in the pits.
very long final stint, as Gasly has a big lock up, and we're having a lot of trouble navigating with the blue flags out, and Magnussen manages to get through while we were letting the AlphaTauris through. So cheeky there from Magnussen, but we're going to have a chance to come back at him along the main straight to the outside, and we're going to be the last of the late breakers, I mean, and we go around the outside and retake the position from Kevin Magnussen.
Good job, nice overtake.
And move ourselves back up into 20th position in this race. And yeah, the only reason I'm fighting this position so hard is for the rivalry. Otherwise I just let him go and conserve the car to the end of the race. But yeah, for the sake of the rivalry, I have to try and beat him. So yeah, we're trying our absolute hardest to bring the car home ahead of Magnussen. And if we can do that and get that sort of one extra point, that could help us at some point. You never know. But Magnussen now coming back down the inside into the first corner, and he gets through. And as we struggle to navigate turn 2, he actually gained quite a lot
Our
in
gap to the car in front is 4.5 seconds.
yeah, the few laps after that, and now he is 4.5 seconds up the road, as you just heard from Jeff. So we've got a lot of work to do if we want to come back in this race. But around this time, the car started actually feeling really good, and we really started pushing the limits, absolutely sending it over the curbs there, just completely cutting that corner. So we're not going to try and do that too many times, but after not too long, we do catch up once again to Kevin Magnussen. We go to the outside as we head towards the first corner, down the outside, late on the brakes, and we're going to sweep through and take back P20 from Kevin Magnussen. And just
nice move.
when I thought that battle was over, we're reigniting it once again. And I think there was actually a little bit of contact as we tried to sweep around the outside. And on this lap, Magnussen actually pulls into the pits for a front wing change. So that wasn't my intention, but a bit of damage for Magnussen, and that's really hampered his chances of a 20th place finish in this race. So yeah, not good for him. But the pace at this point has been good, as Guan Yu Zhou retires from the race with smoke pouring out of the back of his car. And oh, that is so sad to see. he actually had some really good pace fighting with the Williams, and yeah, it was a disaster for him. But as we move on to what will be our final lap, I believe, we are 3 laps behind the race leader. It is absolutely ridiculous. Maybe this isn't quite our final lap then. Maybe we're 4 laps down. I'm not even sure at this point. But Magnussen's nowhere near us. We're just running on our own for this entire last stint in what is now 19th position. And yeah, Valtteri Bottas wins the Spanish Grand Prix. So good points for his championship. But for us, it is a very long and boring race. And in the end, nothing really to show for it. P19 and a DNF for the Galactic Thunder team.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
Also, the recording at this point cut out at a really awkward time, so sorry about the audio cutting in and out. At this point I can't really do anything about it. That's just how it worked out.
Talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot. A well-earned victory for Mercedes.
So it's Valtteri Bottas that takes the race win today. Lewis Hamilton in 2nd place. Charles Leclerc rounding out the podium for the Spanish Grand Prix.
So let's review the updated driver standings. More points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day? It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, AlphaTauri's strong weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Look at both the AlphaTauris in the top 10. Kvyat and Gasly 9th and 10th. Great race by both of them. We did see Gasly having a mega lockup as he was overtaking us at some point. But yeah, bit of a disaster this race. Magnussen gets more points in the rivalry as well compared to me anyway, due to the fact I actually had a penalty that I didn't know about for ignoring blue flags. I guess if we have so many, that's hard to avoid, and he got the faster lap as well. So we are still level on our rivalry with K-Mag, and yeah, we get a bunch of money, $250,000 for our efforts, and we have a big repair bill for Guan Yu Zhou's car, unfortunately there, so a bit of a shame, but we've hit the 2 million mark again, so we can probably upgrade one of the facilities now, so we'll see what we can do on that front in just a moment. So yeah, post-race analysis, terrible. Just the pace in the second stint was okay. It wasn't bad, but in the first stint it was just absolutely horrendous with the medium tyres overheating, particularly, well, all of them. I was going to say particularly the front left, but they were all pretty horrible, let's be honest. But anyway, looking at the facilities now, you could see just a moment ago the events we picked to fill out the calendar until the next race. We're going to be trying to boost Guan Yu Zhou's stats as much as we can as well. He has been performing pretty well, so yeah, I'm quite happy to see his progress so far. But as for what we're going to focus on, we're going to try and generate more resource points from the aerodynamic department, and we can spend those anywhere, aero or otherwise. We could also work on that top one, or the second one rather, that we can afford build time. But if you're building up a team, the build time I don't think really matters. That's not what's limiting us at the moment. The limiting factor is resource points and potentially upgrades failing, which again costs more resource points. So the bottom one there that we can actually afford to generate more resource points will go a long way to helping us improve the car faster and hopefully getting it into a somewhat competitive
If it were me,
state.
this is probably what I'd invest in.
And you can see an upgrade on the aero side failing there, just to compound our issues. So yeah, a bit of a disaster of an episode this time, unfortunately. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to come back stronger next time. Monaco will always be a tricky one. So yeah, it could be a bit of a rough time for the team these few races, but
I know
yeah.
we were expecting some new developments to come through, but some of them have failed the quality control. Make sure you indicate what you'd like redeveloped via the R&D screen.
But no upgrades actually failed, Carl. That was for a delayed message for what happened before. But we get our upgrade to the aero facility, as well as the durability team building and Guan Yu Zhou's weight training to improve his stats a bit too. So you can see as we scroll across to the relevant screen how Guan Yu Zhou's stats have increased in just a moment when we get to it. I can never remember how to find the right screen, but there it is. You can see his stats listed there as they are now. He's now rating 62, so he is getting higher and higher, but yeah, for now just he could be better, so we need to keep working on his skills behind the wheel. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time for Monaco. Goodbye.